Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, May 21st, and you are here for Creating Choice Boards class. Bond, Virginia Bond, that's the name. Training's the game. I'm going to come up with new ones just for fun. Um, Good to see everybody here today. I put the link to the presentation in the chat, and then I am going to just go right into it so we have it. So just so you know, this is like an hour and a half training that I'm going to cut down. But instead of revamping the materials, what I decided to do is to give you it all so you can have everything, kind of my thought process behind it. I think some of you have been through the like using choice boards for student responses that CRB has offered. It's a training that I've started to be involved in with the Capital Region BOCES people. So I know some of you have some background and I don't want to like replicate that so you're not getting like double dipped, but I also wanted you to have the materials that you need that you can roll with. So I'm just going to kind of progress through these. I will go into present mode. You're going to need that link. So grab that link, click on it because I'm going to ask you to do something. Maybe, hopefully it's all working. I think I'm just going to ask you to do it verbally and we'll go a little faster. Okay, so creating choice boards. So introductions, I'm already done. There's only 5 of you. So I got Melody, Carla, Erica, and Carla are from Chateauguay, way up north by me. Yay! Melody's from Schenectady, the city that I have learned how to spell during the pandemic. Yay me! I've learned Schenectady, Niskayuna, and Shenandoah. So I'm pretty proud of myself, right? There's some big ones. Jen's from Amsterdam. And Margaret teaches at Salmon. And Margaret, are you home on the island? Are you in Ontario? I turned you on. I turned on your, you can just tell me.
Yep, I'm in Akwesasne right now.
Akwesasne. Okay, I was wondering where you were. So she's right up on the Canadian border. So kind of cool. We're kind of, she's the closest to me. Well, I don't know. Carla and Erica, we're all pretty close. But anyway, nice to see everybody here. There's a link to the presentation and we're going to just keep going. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to move the chat over here. You guys know that you can use the chat. There's only a few of us, so feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question. All right, learning targets. Kind of understand instructional practices behind a choice board, why we do what we do, what they should have in place, and then we're going to work on creating one because that's really the basis of today is like how do you actually create one and what are some different options. So forget the fact that there's collaboration with peers. Just pretend we're doing that today. I do need to do a data privacy, so just understand if you see anything fun and funky that you really want to do and I show you an extension or something like that along the way and I'm like, hey, here's a great way to do that, you do have to get approval from your data privacy officer to be able to use those. We are just required to do these now, these data privacy and security statements. I don't think I'm teaching you anything that's magic rocket science, so we'll see as far as anything new that would take you off of slides or PowerPoint, either way. So just what do you know about choice boards? Do you know nothing? So if you're nothing, you're going to be a big fat 0, okay? If you know something, you can give me a thumbs up. Now, if you have your camera turned off, you can just do it in the chat. So you can either do a 0. If you've dabbled, you can give me a 1. So one of those two, 0, nothing, dabbled is a 1. And if you're a move over, let me teach this, give me a 3. And then I'm out. All right, I got a 0, a 0, a 0. Oh, awesome. This is easy. 1, Margaret. All right, awesome. Fantastic. So let's roll from there. That's fantastic. That'll be simple. So typically, I'm going to show you this. We're not going to do it right now. So this is an example of kind of a choice board that you can do with students. It's a little different. I'm going to click on it. That's a screenshot that I took of something. And what I did is I built a structure where students could go in and do collaborative work. I used this with my last session and I left it set up so you could see what it looks like. And what I did is I created a grid, a table, and I had a whole set of Microsoft people in the room. So they actually worked in Microsoft while they were in this training. So people came in and they put their names on it. And then what I did is I came down in here and I created 3 copies of the same document and they came in and typed in it. right? I just renamed it. So this was Google Crew 1. I had a Microsoft Group 2. This is kind of a new way to kind of push content out to kids, and building it that way, which is really, it sounds like it's really difficult. I'm not sure what's going on here. It just hates me today. It's over here. It sure is. Building it like this is a different way to build it so that it comes out to these kind of pieces. So this is the structure that guides it all. So just, this is in a doc. It's, I turned it landscape. I know when people see this, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier than kind of the way I've been doing it. Yelling out a way to do it, or you guys are all in 3 and you were in 2. Have students come in, they're going to type their names in, and then they're going to click on the piece down here that they're going to go in and edit so that they can collaborate together even during a session that you're teaching. And the trick is you have to make sure that they click on with the link that you give them. They have to go in and use. So it has to just be opened up that you can share with them. And so this is really kind of cool because it's a neat way for me to kind of check. This was an hour-and-a-half training. You can kind of check through and see what people are doing. But this has basically ramifications for every grade level. Doesn't matter your content that you're teaching, anybody can do it this way. Pretty simple. You can see this one even opened in Microsoft, right? So I even set this one up, got it to open in Microsoft, even from a Google Doc, which was really kind of cool when we worked on it with students. That was really fun. It was one of my first times I had used it, and it worked really effectively. I gave them like 5 minutes. Okay, everybody's got 5 minutes. I set the timer, off they went. I played music. They did their work. They even were talking and chatting in there. So that's just a neat way that you can do that. So no, I clicked on it twice because I'm a bad human. Okay, so gonna move on. So choice boards are really a graphic organizer of some type that's gonna allow your students to basically learn a concept. So you're gonna figure out what your concept is. So, and it does say they're generally arranged in a grid. They don't have to be. There's lots of ways to do them, and I'm kind of even moving away from the grid. So this this definition comes from this more a tic-tac-toe board, which is really, if you want to follow up with that and read that article, it's very good. They're usually in a grid. They don't have to be. So elementary teachers have used choice boards a lot in their lives. They have them on their walls, or they say to the students, you have 5 choices. I'm giving you 3 must-dos, and you have to choose 1 can-do. We've done that in the past. High school teachers do it too at times, but they usually have such a targeted thing. They're going to say, you just do it all. So I'm going to show you a couple different options. So they can choose 1 or several activities to complete. And that becomes up to you. What's nice about choice boards is they're not usually for one day. They may span a longer amount of time. You can use them for a week. You can use them for a month. You can use them for a whole unit. So kind of ways to kind of just expand what you're doing. And it's more of a check-in than it is to go through and just find out. They're usually bigger projects. All right. So the basics, some kind of board. So these are my specific, right? Some kind of board. They involve a choice, and you give multiple options for products. So especially right now, because we're not seeing our kids, I would be bored out of my mind if the only thing I got back was a writing piece, right? I'd be like, oh my God, I don't want to read one more. You'd all turn into ELA teachers and it would drive me bonkers. So allowing students to kind of do more free learning, to kind of explore a topic and to really give you back a product. So this, as long as students are learning what they need to learn, it shouldn't matter how we get it back. It shouldn't matter the kind of product we get back. And thinking, especially for elementary, middle school students, and students with connectivity issues. When we talk about equity, we want to keep in mind things like not every student has the same level of access. For some students, their proof of concept or proof of having it done may literally just be a picture from their phone, right? And that's okay because it's proving that it's done. So we have to keep that in mind too. All right, so this is like, think about online and offline materials. Like, what can you do if you're going to have students create something? What do they have that they could do offline? So when we're thinking about students sharing devices, students sharing Wi-Fi in general, I mean, I have some districts in the north. Saranac has this issue Northern Adirondack. They have issues where it's really they don't even have Wi-Fi. They're using data plans, right, to do any kind of homework, to do anything. So think about what students could do offline that would be a little different. Think about most common items. Assume nothing. I wrote this, the green crayon meltdown. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but the students that have the meltdown because they don't have the green crayon, right? So we don't want, and Melody has heard this. It's overwhelming, right? And our little people, they're under stress. They don't understand, right? If you tell them to use a green crayon, oh my gosh, right? The kindergarten student who just melts down because they don't have it, there's nothing there. Oh my gosh, right? She was missing brown. But your heart breaks a little, right? She's just not anything they have. Like, I get it. And like, let's not, right? I had to talk her down, right? Oh yeah, yeah. They're under stress. I think we think we're stressed. They're just as stressed, and they're missing their safe place. They're missing their routines. I think about our autistic students right now. They are struggling because we've totally just thrown them up into the fire and we're walking them back down. So that's rough. Think about avoiding new online tools. So stick to what you know. Stick to what your kids are comfortable with. It's okay to try something new. If a student says, hey, can I try something different? Sure. I'm doing this session tomorrow with Capital Region BOCES, and one of the teachers we have in is from Middleburg, and she is a living, I want to say living environment. Carla, if I got that wrong, just pretend I didn't. I don't know. She's a science teacher at Middleburg, and she was asking students to give her back a video of proof. They're going to give back some kind of video. She's going to get back a video of some kind. She didn't care how. And she had a student reach out to her and say, hey, is it okay if I do it as a TikTok? And she's like, yep, I don't even know what that is, but have at it. And I was like, good for her. It doesn't matter how the proof comes back. However it gets, it will be good. And like I said, sometimes that cell phone photo is the best proof for a little. All right. So here's some examples. I'm going to show you a couple that I really, really love. Here's one. This is called a menu planner. And I only have this in PDF because it was shared. Oh, come on. Okay, well, it worked the other day. So I'm going to just look up menu planner. This happens all the time. We have issues, and I just look it up. There it is. So this is a choice board menu planner. I have no idea where I got this from. Oh, that's really true, Margaret. I agree. So I like the way one is set up. This is really, it's centered around a topic. So photosynthesis, and it has 4 sections. It has an appetizer, an entree, a side dish, and a dessert. Okay. So everybody shares in the appetizer. You select one entree, you pick a couple side dishes, and then the dessert is optional, right? What a great way to kind of do this, especially for high school kids. So what they have is everybody writes the chemical equation for photosynthesis. I'm out. I know nothing. Okay, entree, you draw a picture. So they got draw a picture, write 2 paragraphs, create a rap or song. So it's 3 different options right there. Very different. Just some different, yeah, Carly, this one, I love this one. It's so cool. And everybody wants to go out to eat right now. So that to me is like so cool. And then the next one is the side dishes. So they can define respiration, compare it, write a journal entry from the point of view of a green plant. Love that one. How cool is that? And then with a partner, so they almost have a think, pair, share. Create and perform a skit. I would love to see kids be able to do this one online right now. Kids would figure it out. You would have some kids that would figure out how to go back and forth. They'd be video editing, they'd be doing all kinds of things, and that would be right up there. And the end is create a test. So to assess the teacher's knowledge of photosynthesis. Ooh. So that whole creation level. So that's one option. I love that concept. I am totally going to build a menu one at some point. So the other ones are tic-tac-toe boards, and there's all kinds of tic-tac-toe boards out there. Ooh, sorry. I got really overzealous and went the wrong way. So I'm going to click on this one. This is one of mine that I built for a PD session. This is around just digital citizenship. I wanted teachers to kind of explore this. So this was built with teachers in mind. And This is what I call the really ugly choice board. Okay, this is what I call my ugly choice board because it's just words. But you can see it's just a table, and I gave real great directions here. Start with number 5. I want them to do this one for sure. I'm forcing them into the middle square, and then make 2 other choices to make your tic-tac-toe. So that means they have to use this one. So they have to play with the middle square. They could totally make 3 more choices and not do the middle square. And basically, this is gamified. I wanted teachers to see that there's ways to teach digital citizenship using games. We don't necessarily always have to talk at our kids. So all these are our links. Text, that's linked. Pretty simple. Let's go to the next one. This one's a little prettier. This is what I call the pretty tic-tac-toe board. This is show what you know. And in this tic-tac-toe board, they used, take out of the trash. I must have moved it into the trash by accident. What they did here in the middle is they used their middle square for students to turn in their creations. So what she did is she put a document here that you could click on, and it would take you into the creations that were built by other people. So that's how you add in your piece. So this again is also some PD that someone else built that I stole, that I was actually given permission to steal. And they're using all different kinds of tools. So in those tools, you could go through and then you put your creation into the middle, which is another great way. So you can either force your kids to the middle, or you can let them put their content in the middle. This becomes whatever you want. And you can tell them, I want you to do 3 of the 8 that are there. I want you to do 4 of the 8. You choose which ones you want to do. So let's, oh, wrong one. So let's do this one. This is one of my other ones that I just built. Some of you have already seen this. This is a Bitmoji board. We're on slide 1. I kind of put the task. So I put a little picture here along with some questions, and then gave students kind of a little bit of directions. Think about using this choice board, explore the idea of kindness. So in the next one, when I click on this one, so this is built around a Bitmoji theme with lots of pictures. Every one of these images links to something else. I saw that bug, Molly. So everything is something different, like the camera, if you click on the camera, it takes you to photographs and videos. So this is just lots of ideas that I wanted there to be lots of different ideas. And I used multiple intelligence as some of the products that a student could give back to me. And I'll show you kind of how I did that in a few minutes. So you can see every picture. So if I clicked this here, it takes me to this slide. And then the students would come in and they would put their response into this. They would write right in this. So if I was using a choice board like this, students would get their own copy of this, and then I would take it back. So they would submit it to me when they were done. So this has 14 different options for students to show ideas for kindness. And they're really so they can help. They can volunteer, which is very close to help. So if a kid was into that, they could reach out to a friend. They'd have to have proof of concept of them doing that. Just lots of different ideas. I just wanted to kind of push students, almost outward too, so that I was giving them some options that weren't just internal, stuck on a computer. Because for me, I work on these things all day long, but kids don't, and it's tough. And to get them outside and doing some different things. So that's a different choice board. And this is what I call the epitome of choice boards. Okay. So this one blows my mind every time I look at it. This is a choice board built by a teacher. It's overwhelming. You can come through, and what she basically did is she put all her PD in here, right? So basically, look, you can literally go through. She built it as a background. So I'm going to demystify this one. It's not as scary as it looks like. She built the image here, and she made it as a picture, right? And then she set it as her background for every slide. And then what she did is when she came over, when it's a background, you can come over, and she put a speech bubble on there, and she put the text about each one in the speech bubble so people could have more information. Very smart. I really like this. And she uses this all year round, this one training, so people can come in and they create their own, and they try to get they try to get a bingo, however that may have. No, I think they have to do vertical or horizontal bingos. So that's what I consider to be almost the epitome of choice boards. That one's a whole pile of crazy. I like the way that's set up. Hi, Allison. I saw you just came in. I just put the link into the chat for you, okay? No worries. I actually remembered to record this one. Okay. So let's go back to our presentation. I'm gonna pull this as soon as I find it. I'm gonna pull this way, and I'm just start closing windows. I'm gonna close everything to the right, so it's just out of the way. All right, so now here we go. We're moving on. Hi, Allison. I know you just got your headphones in. So I put the link to the session right in the chat, and I'm recording, so it's no big deal. All good. All right, next one. So when we talk about, here's some resources into choice boards. CBs are choice boards because I just like a little bit of, shortened pieces here. So we don't have to, that's, Caitlin Tucker is really who I consider to be the authority on choice boards. AJ Giuliani just put out this like mini course on choice boards. That's the link into it. It's got 3 sections. It's a pretty quick read if you want to read more information on choice boards. We're not gonna do that now. So now just things to keep in mind. It's not just differentiating instruction, really important. It's more than that. I'm gonna keep going. It's about what they're gonna produce, how they're going to engage with it, the level of complexity they can handle, and what activity within that choice board are they interested in, right? What makes more sense to them? What are they really going towards? So I really focus on multiple intelligences. That has always been kind of my thing. It's a shocker, I was a music teacher by trade. So when I take the multiple intelligence tests, I come up with a 5 for music. Shocker, right? That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Tony. Tammy, I'll get it right eventually. Nice to see you. I just put the link in. So there you go. Hi, I just put the link in the chat so you'll have it right there. I got perfect attendance again, 3 in a row. All right, sorry, this is simple things. So you can go in here with your students and you can have them take a multiple intelligence test, which is really kind of fun. This is easy. I don't think most kids know how they learn best. It doesn't make any sense. They don't know why they learn a certain way. So this is simple and it's very, you can tell, it's very student friendly. Like I enjoy my pets. I just go through and rank it. I think any student above 3rd grade can take this without any problem. And then what I would do is when my students were done, I would have them go and fill out a form. Let me see. This is what the form looks like. So you could go through and it asks your name and then it asks your intelligences. Like what's my number 1, what's my number 2, and what's my number 3? What's really good about that is when they put all that information into a form, then you can look at it and hey, here's my kids. Here's how I know how they learn best. And this isn't like, well, I learn best when I listen. Not every kid learns best when they listen. We think they do because that's usually what we give them. So what's really nice when you go through it, this is what the results look like. They get it. They can keep it. They can share it with you. They might be shocked about what they see, right? Not a shocker that I learned musically and spatially. Shocker, right? And then these are always people, and my strengths are self-intrapersonal and intra and inter. So it goes through all of those. Shock. My daughter laughs at this every time she sees it. My daughter is a kinesthesiologist. This is her strength. She gets a 5 and I get a 2, right? I'm not really good at that. I'd rather sit than move. It's all good. So this is just some things to keep in mind. Okay, so let me keep going. So going through that, what I've done is I've gone through multiple intelligence documents and kind of pulled like all different kinds of ways, all different kinds of products that you can get back from a kid. And this is that, right? This is just those big ideas. So that choice board that I showed is really kind of pulling these activities into it. What are those kind of ideas that I can give my students that are all over the place? So I'm going to skip that one. This is just some cute little pictures that kind of go through the process, which is right here. Okay, you're always going to start with the end in mind. What do you want to see? Like, what do you want your kids to be able to know? So this is just to me like building a rubric. I always put the exemplars in and then worked my way backwards. What do I want my students to be able to show me? What mastery do I want from them? So know where they're at and think about just varying the content delivery. So you can do content delivery video, person to person. We're kind of limited right now on how we do that. Like we have video, we have person to person, we have reading. There's not much more than that we have to give them. They do work independently. You can take time. Students can ask you questions as they're working through things, and you can take that one-on-one time or use class time to work. And then they like turn in their projects. And then what's really nice is kind of have a show and tell, which is like students can showcase their pieces, which I think is really valuable in this time. So that's along the same lines. We already did these. There's another choice board sitting up there. So now how to build. Phew, I'm here. I made it. All right, here we go. So choose your topic. Can be a topic, a unit, a large concept, a book study. Carla, I love that science one about photosynthesis because that's a real specific content. So think about what you're looking for. So I am going to do, I have no idea. I'm going to do one on Google Slides. I'm in Google Slides. I'll do one on Google Slides. That sounds like fun. So here we go. I'm going to start with a blank document. So I'm going to start with a blank Google Doc. I am again going to close all my tabs to the right. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to docs.news. So that's the special trick of how to build a doc immediately. Bing, bang. I don't have to go to the waffle. I don't have to go to docs. I can just go here. So that's my first thing. And I'm going to say, what did I say? Slides choice board. Okay, there we go. I don't know how I'm going to do one around this, but well, we'll see. I'll make one up as I go. So I'm going to put choice board up here for slides. Who knows if this is going to work? We'll see. Awesome. So I've got that all done. So I've got my blank document. It doesn't matter if it's in Word because they're all going to be the same. So I named it, I titled it, and then I'm going to enter down a bit. So name it, title it, enter down a bit. I think I just automatically did that. I'm like a little trained rat. I named it, I titled it. So named it is up here, titled it is down here. That's basically so I can't lose it, right? Because I can lose anything. And then I entered down a bit. So the reason I entered down a bit is because if I put my table at the top, it's really hard to move afterwards. So it's a lot easier to push it down, and then I can write my directions on top, and then I can rework it. And then I'm going to insert a 3x3 table. So just insert table and a 3x3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, it's just fabulous. It's gorgeous. Now I got a 3x3 table. Okay. So now the decision comes. Do I want to center myself? Do I want to use a center or do not want to use a center? Do I want to submit through the center or do I want to use the center? Do I want to force them to the center or use it? So I think I'm going to do a submit. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there because I'm going to have my people submit their final pieces in through the center. So I'm going to do this thing quick. I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to make my font a little larger just so it's a little easier. And I'm going to do it all in one fell swoop because I am too lazy to change box by box by box. I may decide later on I want to do that. I'm not really sure. I may decide. So there's my submit. I'm set to go. So now I've got everything set. I'm not sure what my submit's going to look like, but it's going to be a final project of some type that I'll push in there. Okay, so next one, options. So now I can add colors into boxes or cells. And then this is a kind of cool thing that you can do that's really kind of tricky. You can color code them so you know what the colors mean, but the kids don't. And if you set them off just enough, you can make them do one of each. So don't set like your bottom row up all for green. So I'm going to do this one in green. So I'm going to click in the box, come over and look for the paint bucket. So I'm going to put my paint bucket. I'm going to fill this one green. That one's easy. This one's easy. And this one's easy. So now there's an easy one no matter how you do it. Okay, I should have matched my colors, right? I'm only going to put 2 hards in. I'm going to put a hard right here. That's going to be red. Kids are not going to have an idea. So if they take the, like if they go this way, they're going to get, I've got to do, just it gets hard. No, I got to do it here. Which way do I have to do it? You just kind of have to work your way through and figure it out. Yeah, I know. My brain is not working. I'm still in fog. So I might do 3 of those. I'm going to do yellow here. So that would be my middle session. This can be yellow. Nice, icky yellow. That's gross. Ew. I'm going to make this one red. So I'm going to put more red on. Then I'm going to do, nah, I'll be nice. I'll do 3 mediums. Okay. So I'm going to make them submit through the center. So I might make this one red just so that, right, they're going to come through. Or I might say to them, I want you to do 1 red. I might put more red. I might do 3 reds, 3 yellows, and 2 greens. I can totally work it up. You can only do 1 green. Okay, you can say that to them. So then when I start working my way through, you can also do each different. I mean, if you're just into what it looks like, go ahead. So this is when you start to look at this. So my topic is going to be, I am doing slides. So I'm going to use a tool right now. I knew there was a time I was going to use a tool. I'm going to use a tool called Tab Resize because I want this next to this so I can look at them both at the same time. I'm going to click on that. And what it does is it splits my screen. If you guys have not used a split screen, you can, these are amazing, right? So now I can read this and I can put my content in over here at the same time. I can do 2 things at one time. I don't have to worry about having 2 different screens. So Tab Resize is an extension. So maybe I'm going to have my students, okay, read about slides usage in the classroom. Okay, because remember I'm working with teachers, so there's a good one. Maybe one of the hard ones I'm going to do, that's probably, you know, I'm really nice in saying that's middle. That's so stinking easy. I'm going to take that out. Everybody can read. All my teachers can read. I'm going to make a hard one. I'm going to have them, you know, brainstorm out a progression. I'm going to call it a mind map. A mind map for creating a slide presentation. That's a little harder, right? That is definitely a harder kind of concept for someone to do. Mind maps. Most people hear the word brainstorm and mind maps and they go, I'm not doing that one. It's too hard, right? I'd be all over that in a heartbeat because that to me screams sketchnoting and I'd be like, yep, that's an easy one for me. I'm going to grab that. So I just changed that font a little bit. I'm going to go to 18. Okay, so then you can see, okay, so listen to music. Maybe I'm going to have them, this is a hard one, write a song / rap about slides. Oh, I would love to have one of those. It'd be so much fun. So you see how I'm kind of taking the topics that I have over here and I'm bringing them into my slide. Like I know what the concept is, right? So this is when I'm going to be really, really general and allow them to go through that process and kind of pick. It's very much like the one I showed before about the menu. I'm giving them sessions to kind of work their way through. So that's that one. Does that all make sense? We're all pretty good with that? That's easy. When you're thinking about products and where I want to go, that's the main thing. All right, so let's go to starting to fill. So now I already did that. I started to do like not tech options. So like this is a not tech option, right? Writing a song or a rap about slides is a non-tech option, right? They don't need tech. They could maybe record it if they want to. That'd be great because I want to hear it, right? They could read about slides usage, and I'd probably want those articles back, right? I'd want them, you know, I might have them curate. Here's another one. Curate a list of great, not just good, of great YouTube videos about creating slide presentations. So you know what the benefit of this is when you do this and you do it around a topic and your students are creating a product, you as a teacher get to keep a copy of those products and you get to use them next year. And then you get exemplars and things that you can use for your next. So like this, curating a list of great YouTube videos, you'll be like, oh yeah, I never saw that one. That's fantastic. That's like letting students do some of the work for you as well. Okay, so you could put images in. This is kind of the same process. I just insert an image and I go find one. I'm going to search the web. I can't think of a thing. All right, I'm just going to say birds. I have no idea why that came into my brain. Sure. We're gonna do something about birds. That's gonna be my nature one. No idea why. I know why. My daughter just told me she found orioles in Malone, and there's like an oriole like bizarreness in the North Country lately. Everybody has orioles. I've never seen one. We're going on a road trip later today. I want to see an oriole. Okay, so that's the next one. So then hyperlinking. Okay, so let's say I want to hyperlink to something. So this is easier than it looks. I'm just going to put my screen back together so you can see it all together. So now when you're going to link something, remember you can link an image. Let's say I wanted to make this into creating a list, and I wanted them to go to a document, right? So here, I'm going to go back out to my drive. Sorry, I closed my drive by accident. I'm going to go into my drive, into the folder that I was in, because I'm going to put all their work in the same folder because that makes sense to me. And you know, I'm kind of a freak about keeping things neat. So I'm going to create a document right in here that is about resources. And you know what? I lied. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a better document. I'm going to use a sheet. How dare I use a sheet instead of a doc? Oh my gosh, Allison, really? I know. And we have so many people right now have orioles up here in the North Country. I've never seen it. Oh, well, maybe they've always been here and I've just never seen them. But there's been like oriole sightings all over the place. My daughter's boyfriend, who's a state trooper, is into birding. So this is what they do in their free time. So anyway, so this would be the name of the video, the link to the video. I'm doing this very specifically, and reason 1 and reason 2 of why it's great. Okay. So we're not just going to allow them to throw me content. I want to know why they think it's good, right? This is that deep kind of in-depth conversation. Now, I could gather that information through a Google form, which I probably would, but I also might like them to work on a sheet together like this. That's good to kind of give them that experience of working on a sheet. So here it is. I'm just going to save it as slides, YouTube. I know what that means. Okay. And then when I come back out to my slide presentation, so here's a list. They can have their own sheet. They can do this however they want. They're going to build it, but then we're going to put all our content together in here. Going to insert a link, and I am going to find where I want to put it. So I know that it's in here, right? There's my slide, share, and I'm going to allow people to write on it. So this is where I kind of have to change it. Anyone on the internet with this link can edit. Sure, if anybody wants to have at it, they can have at it, right? And I'm just going to go out here, and this, I'm just going to link it right there. And there we go. So now it's linked, right? So that's the process of creating that link into a document. So students can create 3, and then when they get all done, excuse me, if it was a slide presentation on slides, I'd have them give me a slide presentation of what they created. So if they created a spreadsheet, they'd be putting a screenshot of that in the slide, and then they'd be going with a link to it, right? I'd have them be using all those skills in there. If they did a YouTube video, if they wrote a song, they wrote a YouTube video. Wow. If they wrote a song and they recorded it, they can put a link to it inside their slide presentation. So that's kind of that's the like big thing, I think. So that's all of those pieces. So now let's look at a slide presentation. Let me walk back from this. So now I have this, right? What do I do with it? It's all done. I'm going to push it to students. Let's talk about that quick. How would I push this to students? So we can use my trick that I learned this morning, or the trick that I taught some of you this morning, is that if you come up here into the address bar, right, and you get this address, we're looking for the end of it. I'm going to close this because then I'll see it better. When I'm looking for the end of this address, I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm just going to use my cursor and go to the end. You see the last word is edit? That means I'm giving you editing privileges. What I want to do is I want to take that out and I want to type it to copy. Take out the word edit. Anything past the last slash is what I'm taking out. And I'm going to copy this entire thing. I'm going to copy the whole thing. I'm going to select all if it'll let me copy. Yep. And I'm going to put it into a new link, wow, browser window, sorry, browser tab. and I'm going to paste it there. So I'm going to paste it in. And as soon as I hit enter, what I did with that document that I just had is I forced a copy to it. So we take anything out past the slash, I force a copy. So I could send that link, this link right here to my students for a choice board, and I can force a copy to them. I can upload that to a Google Classroom, right? I can upload that easy to a Google Classroom. I can upload it as a link. I can also upload the choice board itself to a Google Classroom and make a copy for every student. So that's how they're going to get it. That's going to be the first one. Does that all make sense? We all good with that? Pretty simple. So that structure is really easy to build. Let me go down a little bit, and I'm thinking of the one that I know that Carla really liked is that menu planner. So let's think about a menu planner. If I was going to do a menu planner, I'd probably do the same idea. So, right, I'm going to go in here, menu planner. I'm going to do it like this, whatever my concept is. I'm going to leave, you know, ideas for directions. And this is what she did. She inserted a table of one, right? And so this was the appetizer. And you can put your directions all in there. And then she put choices in here. And then what she did is she put another table in here, just a cell of one. She did it again. She inserted another one here. And this would be, you know, the entrees. So she did these mini direction pieces in there. And then came down and she put her bullets under here for those choices. So you can put those all in. That's a pretty, when you understand like the way she structured it, it's pretty easy. So you can also do that with tables. You could do the same thing with tables. You could build the whole thing in a table if you wanted. If you felt more comfortable with that, you can do that as well too. Okay, so those are kind of the two doc ones. So now the next one is really building a slide one. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to build a new slide one. And I'm going to pull this over here so I don't lose it. I am going to close all those to the right. Nope, nope, nope. All those to the right. Close all to the right. That's my like trick of the day. Close to the right with a right click. And I'm going to build a slide presentation. So I'm going to do slides.new. Okay. So I have this all set. I'm going to build a choice board. So I can build a board right here. Let's do slides choice board. I should have left my other one open because I could have built a slides choice board. That would have made sense. Slides choice board. Okay, well, you know, we're not always that smart. I'm going to just do that really quickly. See if I can get it back quick. I know it's here somewhere. Come back to me. Where are you? There you are right there. Yay. I'm going to use that. All right, I'm going to pull it out here just so I can see it. Perfect. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slides choice board. I'm going to give a title page. So the reason I use a title page is title. So slides title is what I'm going to call it right now. You may want to use this as your direction page. Okay, that makes sense. Put all your directions on this page, and then you put the next one actually becomes your slide. So I'm just going to hit enter because that's going to give me the next slide. And I'm going to change the layout to blank. I like to work with a blank slate. To me, it's a lot easier to build in. So I can insert a table if I want to build it that way, right? I can insert a table and work that way. I don't typically do that. I mean, I totally could, but it's PowerPoint. It's got more power. So I tend to go in and grab a shape. Like I don't know, I have this thing for those rounded rectangles. I don't know why. And I would just paste them in there and hope to God I got the shape right time. What I did! Rock on. Sometimes I can do it the first time. All right, so now I have a set of them, right? And I just kind of arrow them over and then I go copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I needed 6 more. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build them. And oh, it's just a little, I don't think I'm that far off actually. I think I'm just a tiny bit off. You know, I hardly ever get those right the first time. So what I'm basically doing is I'm building a structure that I can have, and I like the shape. Create a list right in here. I'm going to put it on that choice. Sound stuff. Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? That was Tammy. So, yeah, okay. Just checking to make sure. All right, so I'm going to create a list. Okay, it really was not where I wanted that. Undo. Create it over here, right? Create a list. So I might change how this looks a little bit. And let's do another one. So I'm just literally copying from one. Brain sort out a mind map. And I'm going to definitely want pictures with these because I think it looks better. That's my personal preference. I like it better like that. So now a mind map. Tammy, is that better? Can you hear it better now? Okay, good. There you go. Awesome. No, Jen did too. Jen, pop out and pop back in. Yeah, let me send her. I think we've been having just connectivity issues. So now I have that done, right? Okay, so I have 9 spots here for information. I'm going to make 9 more slides, okay? And all I'm going to do is click on that one and hit enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they're really fast to add, right? So now what I'm going to do, they all come in with the, I should have done it. I lied to you. There's a better way to do that. So let me do it again. I'm going to hit enter and change the layout of this one because I am going to want it to be title body. This is where students are going to put their content in. Now I'm going to enter down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, because I want them to all have a space to put their information. So this is a brainstorm. I want to have a brainstorm icon. So I'm going to use the Explore tool, which sits over here down at the bottom. Some of you have seen this before. And I'm going to go look for brainstorm. Who knows if I'm actually going to find an image. That was weird. It doesn't do that. I want to go find a brainstorm. Thank you. Can you just look what I tell you to do? Thank you. Images. Sometimes. There, that's a good brainstorm. And I'm going to pop that image right in there. Okay, I'm going to try to pop that image right in there. So I'm going to come in this way. I'm going to put the image like that, and I'm going to have it come in now. So I like the images, and I might take this text, and I'm going to put it on a slide right here. Okay. Then I'm going to take the image that I just had and put it copy. I'm going to put it in the corner. This is for organizational purposes. You can tell which goes to which. So I probably wouldn't keep the text in because I don't really need the text. And this is the magic. We're going to take that image. We have it right there. Now I'm going to link that image. Okay. So I'm going to click here, going to link the image. And it's going to say, no, that's not what I want. I'm going to do a slide in the presentation. And because I put a title on it, when I go down to here and I click this down, is it the next slide? Sometimes it is, but this is the one. Brain sort out a mind map. Okay, I'm going to click that and tell it to apply. So this is how I can create that links back and forth. Now, that's pretty easy, right? When you do that process, when I go into present mode with this, when students come through, this is my direction page. They come out here. They're going to click on that. It's going to take them into their slide that then they can hit escape and they can put their content in. So just like before, up here, remember the way I would push it out? I could push it out in Classroom, make a copy for each student. They all get their own, or I can come to the end of this address bar, all the way down to the end, and I back it all the way up to that slash right there. I'm going to make it, I'm going to highlight it. Thank you to the kid who lives next door who's racing his bike around. So it's all the way at the end. You can't see it because it highlights the whole thing. So I'm going to I can back that whole thing up, take all of that off, make it copy. As soon as I hit enter, it forces a copy. That's the address I would send to my students. Does that make sense? Okay, so hopefully that's kind of like demystifying the concept of building choice boards, right? So I'm going to look at my presentation because I don't even know if there's anything else in here. I think I went through these all pretty quickly. Start with a blank slide, insert a table. I taught you how to insert a table on the other one, not on this one. This is the way to do it a little differently. So you can also link each cell to another slide, just the same way I did the other thing, right? It's easy, either one. Put an image in the slide, in the table, and then just pull that out, right? And then sharing. So we've already kind of talked about sharing. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. And I kind of want to know, like, What are your questions? So we have time. Yay! I love when we have time. That I'm going to unmute all of you. Okay. So yay. And you can ask me your questions. What are those burning things you want to know how to do that I didn't cover?
I submitted a comment in the chat. Will there be a recorded video to watch of this?
There absolutely is.
I had some tech issues and unbelievably had a hard time joining. I know I'm shocked at how little I know of what you're doing. So you look like a master in your field with this. I connected with the Orioles and Plattsburgh, but I don't know, like mind map. I thought you were saying mind mops. I'm like, I'm trying to Google what that means. So I don't have the jargon of what you're talking about. I get bits and pieces. I'm very familiar with certain computer things, but literally on a scale of 1 to 10, at best, I'm a 2 of what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to, I'm very committed to doing a good job. When did all of this happen? Have I missed the boat? When was the boat even set for, launching? I don't know.
I mean, it's not a big deal. You know what? If you can stay a little bit at the end, and I will recommend a couple trainings that may be super helpful.
Thank you.
Foundational sets, like beginning classes that are really helpful that kind of start at the ground zero. So no worries. Think about what you want, and then I'll help you build it. How's that sound, right? Okay.
I have a lot. I'm really good with Microsoft Word and some Excel, but I don't know how to transfer what you're saying to what you just did. So.
Okay. Absolutely. So I definitely can help with that. Yeah, Melody, what's up?
So one of the questions that I have is going back to that tic-tac-toe board, the middle submit.
Yeah.
So being an art teacher, one of the struggles I'm having right now is knowing how to get kids to submit work. So what would that button do, or how would I make a hyperlink there for them to submit something? How would it be activated?
So if we went like this, and because you definitely want a visual piece, I would probably move this so it went to like a board like this that was a PowerPoint board, because it's going to be more of an art component, a slide board. So I'm going to click this, add a link, right? Because that's what I need to do. And I need to get this link, whatever this is, this PowerPoint or slide presentation. So what I would do is I would grab that link here, and I would have to make it so all my students could edit it, right? So they'd have to have something that they could submit, copy, and I could do it that way. So I could put that link right in there. So when students came in, they'd be able to click here. This would bring them to the board. Your directions it wouldn't be a choice board. This would be like submission page. And you say submission page, give them directions. So you can also, and this teach them how to duplicate a slide. So like if the directions are going to be duplicate slide 2 and put your final submission in there, there you go. So that would be one of the options. Great, Carla, I like that. Teachers Pay Teachers does have a lot. I'm going to tell you what, if you go out to Google, just go out here and you just search choice board template. Whew, your mind will blow up, right? And guys, take that right now. Don't recreate the wheel. Use somebody else's work and make it your own, right? If it's out there and people have left them for free, take them, use them. Oh my gosh, amen is right? So many good things out there. I'm going to tell you what, look at there's a choice board PD menu. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And just, you want to make it better? Free. Oh, angels should be singing for you, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. This work is hard enough right now, right? Look for things that you can use. Like, here's what I would call the big, bad, and the ugly, right? A box with just words in it. It's okay, because create something that you're going to be able to use later in life, right? Simple. Don't overwork it. You can do to make it simple for yourself and stuff that you can use. Okay, questions. Any other questions? Does that help, Melody?
Yeah, I think so. I like the idea that they could, have the choice board to watch a video or do an online art game and then also submit something, because that is the biggest obstacle right now is who has access to what, and me understanding exactly how they understand how to do things.
Yeah,
So
and a lot of our little people, big people, middle people.
K through 5, yeah.
I have that's a teacher in the town I live in Malone, and the art teacher at one of the elementary, she puts out like a challenge, just a K through, she's an art teacher, puts out a challenge every week, and the students are submitting their art projects back to her. I don't know how, but I'm assuming it's parents' emails and all kinds of things that she's getting. And then at the end of every week, she's building like a slide presentation that she's publishing out and she's putting out on the web, so that she's being very public with the pieces that they're submitting. And I really like that, because if we think about authentic audiences, that is so real for our kids. They'll do such a better job with an authentic audience. She did one on like the rainbow challenge, which was really cute. She did one like reuse, reduce, for Earth Day. So she's done a lot of really cute ideas that have been really kind of neat that you probably do in your classroom, and now just to kind of bring those through. There is a Google tool. I have to remember, I'm going to try to remember what it's called. Canvas. Canvas. I don't know if you've seen this. It's just art kind of thing that's out there. Canvas.apps.chrome. It's an app for Chrome, and it's full on drawing tools. So this is what it looks like. It's really cool. I am not smart enough to be able to use a lot of. Carla, did you just lose me now? That's really weird. So some audio is definitely going out. Submit button to a Google form. Maybe. Yes, Allison, I love that idea. That's another option. You can also do some of these like drawing pieces on this, right? You can do all kinds of free draws in here, all kinds of colors. This is very, you can also come in and customize. This is one of their new drawing tools that they've just put out. That's, I think, really nice, right? I'm drawing with a mouse, by the way. So I also have a stylus, but it'd be cool to have students kind of explore this, right? For those that have access. And then they just save, and when you go home, you get something that looks like that. That's all there is to it. It's new. It's nothing magic, no saving, nothing else that they have to do.
Yes, I just learned Google Draw, so I'm going to have them, their next lesson is to create their name or customize their name in word art. So
Cool. That's a great,
see how that.
things that can be happen, right? That's awesome. Okay, other questions? And I don't want to keep you super long. I know it's a beautiful day outside. I want you to be able to get outside and enjoy your day. It's Thursday. Thank you. Goodness. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to stay around. You guys that have been with me before, I'm going to stop.